Holy crap, I've been talking this whole damn time and forgot to unmute myself. I'm such a noob. This is what happens when you take a break off doing shows for a while. Oh, crap. Well, just as well. Hello, Sullivan. Hello, Scrimshaw. Sorry. Just had freaking 12 minutes of dead air. Awesome. Well, I did, if it's any consolation, I thought I was doing all right on giving this big old speech about, actually giving a damn in the world. Hey, Moonlight, good to see you. But essentially what I was saying was that in today's world, well, hell, since I was, basically screwing up in the whole beginning, let me go ahead and start this over. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vex Warfield. I'm Vex, your host, and tonight I want to talk about what's going on in the world. I want to talk about what's wrong with it, what makes me sad, and maybe if we can come across to it, maybe something that makes me happy about what's going on in the world. I know that's like a hell of a thing there to try and figure out because there's not a lot of good things, but there are a few good things out there, and well, really, we need to change attitudes in general of everyone. One of the things I was actually wanting to talk about was the Smith-Month Act from 1948 and the Smith-Month Modernization Act that Obama put in place. But it kind of ties into all this because they have done one hell of a job on screwing with the average person's brain. Now, I can't, exclude myself in that. I include myself because, quite frankly, I have to stop and think, wait a minute, is this the way I should be thinking about things? Because everything presented today seems to be cloaked in propaganda. And they have, like I said, done a hell of a job on this propaganda. They have taken over every corner of media, even the so-called good ones, and they have trashed the truth. And what's worse is they'll mix in truth with lies, like it's a spice, just to give you that flavor. Maybe get you twitching a little bit in anger, you know. But then the next story will kick in, and they'll tell you how bad you are and how much you should loathe your skin. I mean, let's talk about the schools a little. One of the things, I went to the national meeting last night, and heard a lot of people talking about the school situations. And quite frankly, they should be. They should have been a long time ago. A long time ago. When they first said, we're going to shut down schools. We're going to shut down your work. We're going to shut down the country. Everybody should have went, excuse me? No, you're not. But no, they had fear driving all of this and misinformation to reinforce that fear. It is a damn shame. It really is. Because it's all, well, it's not the smartest lies. I mean, I say it a lot. Before all this, it was common knowledge that certain things helped a person out, as far as, say, healing, keeping yourself from getting sick, knowing how to react to the flu. things of this nature. I mean, always knew, that you took care of yourself, you didn't get sick. It's one of the things my grandma taught me. Maybe she'd be having me pull up weeds in her garden and sitting there going, if people just ate right, they wouldn't get sick. I didn't know what she meant then, of course, but here in hindsight, I'm sitting here going, well, it makes perfect sense, Grandma. Thank you. Because there are ways to cloud your brain, the way you think. And the people who are doing this to us know this. People knew this. And they used it against all of us. Now we have to try and break through this. I know it's tough. I mean, a way of thinking is a way of thinking. And everybody has a different way of thinking. But when it's when it is clouded, you can still think that your rational way of thinking is good. Convince yourself that you're fine. Because I did. I mean, by far. I mean, I've never been perfect. Never. Never will be. But I have declouded my mind. And my body, of course. And my spirit. Or at least attempting to do so. And I see all the holes they have poked into us spiritually, mentally, physically, genetically. And I know we can overcome it. I know it. But the problem is people don't know that they can do it. Like I said, the propaganda is very strong. And not to mention all the chemicals in our environment that we have to contend with that are working against us. It's a mountain to climb. But climb it we must. The more we reinforce each other, even in the simplest thing, maybe take a pause from, taking that little troll, and acting up in a chat or pulling a mean prank or something along those lines. Hey, Okie, maybe instead of doing that prank, you compliment the person or just give them a smile. Tell them they're, a good person. I don't know. My social awkwardness shows. But if you go and project, I don't know, it sounds like I'm turning into a spiritual preacher or something like that. But if you project goodness, yes, even love, it will be returned. Maybe not immediately, maybe not even always, but it will come back. And the people that we need to send it to most are the ones that are not, we'll just say, eager to accept it. But if we just consistently project it, we can change the world. One group of people at a time. Hey, Lisa. Now, I'm going to go ahead and sorry, I got distracted. My phone started making noises. All right. I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to see if we can continue on with this conversation with all you fine people. like I said, I originally wanted to talk about the Smith-Month Act and, your rights and all the stuff that has been basically pulled in front of our eyes so that we can't see what's really there. But like I also say a lot, everything is connected. So I don't know, maybe I should change the name of my shows. Maybe I should change the name of my shows and everything because, I mean, it's about much more than just rights. Hi, Scrimshaw.
Howdy, Vex.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good for an old broad.
That's good.
What's up?
Well, like I was saying, I wanted to originally talk about the two different Smith-Month Acts, and then tie it into propaganda against everybody, and then tie it into all this stuff with, chemicals and all this stuff that's in our environment.
Yep.
I mean, but I also attach it to several other things too. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I was just saying, I guess I should probably change the names of my shows because it's not really about just one thing anymore. It's about everything. Be like,
Well,
everything is connected with Vex.
there you go. Yeah, it's all intermingled, intertwined, and connected. But yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it can get you real down when you think about the multitude of baloney going on. I'm calling it baloney because I don't want to get all cuss word on this or something. But but there's a lot going down. It's pretty heavy. I think it's heavy all around because there's so much propaganda going around and brainwashing and shit that it's messing up everybody. It's depressing everybody except for the people that are putting this out. Like these people that are into all this propaganda shit that are putting it out. I mean, they're laughing and walking to the bank while they're fucking everybody up. Excuse my language. Beep. Uh, I'm sorry, Vex.
I'm not too worried about it. I swear like a sailor. So
Yeah, well, I do too. So I apologize to your guests here. Yeah, I mean, everybody is. If you look around at it, everybody's angry at everybody. Everybody's, all messed up about all these different issues. Even the people that are Democrats, they're all messed up too because they're being propagandized with all this hate stuff. It's awful, and I think about 9/11. I just watched a show, and I didn't see the beginning of it, but it was all about 9/11. Another channel called Porch Honkies, and and geez, I thought back to about 9/11, and yeah, it was very traumatic. But you know what? The whole country came together. You know, I don't know if they were trying to split us up or what, but all I remember is everybody was together. We're all going to stick together and defend our country, man. And it's like, what happened to this? Well, yeah, you're right. The Smith Modernization Act, all this friggin' brainwashing, all this pitting people against each other no matter what.
yeah,
It's just ridiculous. And it's not just on one issue, it's like every friggin' issue. Now, one side can't breathe, but the other one's putting out hate. So, I think you're right. I mean, it would be really nice if all the people that are into meditating and praying or good thinking could get together and lift up the vibration of this country because people are gone out of their freaking minds with this warped ass
that's
thinking that's going on.
that's a
Pardon
good
me.
way to put it. That's a good way to put it. They're losing their minds, and
Yeah.
that's pretty accurate Because I don't know if anybody's noticed this. Well, I know a few people have noticed it, but people's behavior, even the people that they know personally, their behavior is changing.
Yep.
A lot of people who were, we'll just say, borderline stable are now moving towards that unstableness. And a lot of people who are actually stable people are losing a little bit of their shit because, quite frankly, you're supposed to be losing your shit. By
Some
this
people,
time, we were supposed to be all insane and just at each other's throats.
well,
You were going to say something?
look at all the people that are committing suicide. There's a shit ton of people. I don't know if anybody's got any statistics, but every time I turn around, I'm hearing people committing suicide. It's just terrible, and I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, everybody's losing their shit one way or the other. I'm finding myself sometimes getting impatient, especially with family members. I should just shut up, I suppose, but when they're talking about something and I know, the truth about something, I'm going to tell it to them, whether they want to hear it or not.
And that's the way it should be. I mean,
And,
the information that we have that we know is true needs to be spread around as much as possible.
yeah,
I mean, this is the only way. One of the things I like to use in how I talk on my live stream or any other live stream I go on is repetition.
hmm
I mean, they use it to a scientific degree. I mean, they're on it. Say it over and over and over and over. But repetition is a real thing. And
yeah.
I try and say or use repetition to put out the actual truth.
Well, the people that are saying the lies, they say so many lies and they keep repeating them, and then they start believing it's the truth. I think half the time they're so friggin', what do you call it, psychotic, or psychopathic is more what I should say.
Well, yeah, I mean, they take the first information they get and they automatically assume it's the truth, even though it may even sound outlandish and, quite frankly, stupid.
Well, I'm
But they
talking,
stick to it. Go ahead.
I'm talking about the people that dishing out brainwashing and the propaganda, Vix.
Mm.
They're
Well,
psychopaths. They're
yeah,
sick,
that's
sick
true.
people doing this to everybody. Sick.
Well, this is what happens when you let mad scientists run the world. Because this is what you get. You get mad scientists, you cross them with lawyers, and here we are.
I don't know. I think it's a little more than that, but I think they used to say that everybody was psychopaths, and this mess of a world and its leadership. I think a lot of them are, probably 99% of them are. That
Yeah,
sounds awful to say.
Yeah. Moonlight said, my adult kids, two in their 30s and one in their late 20s, are having a hardest time defending themselves and their beliefs. Friends have been awful to them because my kids are not delusional. Yeah, that's something that a lot of people are dealing with. I mean,
Yep,
hell,
everybody
just
is.
earlier today I went to the store and had to deal with it. I mean, it's all over the place, and it's hard to get away from because these people are still listening to cable news and all this other stuff because they don't know any different. Even your local news has their own spin.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. It's all over the place. It's that narrative that they want, and they're spreading around their thoughts about the unvaccinated spreading the virus, and a lot of us know that that's not true. That the unvaccinated, I think everybody is, really. I mean, but we know that people who have been vaccinated, they're they're producing. I think that they're producing new strains of it and passing it around. In fact, they're only talking about like three major strains in the news, but probably when this first come out around March, I was talking to a friend of mine that was a nurse, and she said there was already 8 new strains in the country at that time. So it was like March of 2020, I guess. So
You,
they're not saying everything that's going around, but
well, of course not. They don't need to. All they have to do is put a label on top of it. They don't
yeah,
actually tell you that it's just the flu that's mutating because of the people who got the vaccines, because, quite frankly,
yeah,
they shed the mutation themselves.
yeah.
And now people are going into the hospital and having to contend with it. I mean,
It
new
just making
strains.
matters worse is what they done because everything was starting to come down in a lot of countries. I watched Dr. Shiva's analysis of it, and they did some charts and stuff. And those that got it, it was starting to come down and get lower. And when they started vaccinating everybody, all those countries that had the cases of COVID started going up. So uh, that's what happened. And people, aren't getting this information, and a lot of them, and they're only seeing. You're right. They're only seeing one side of the coin. But the way I look at it, a coin has three sides: the front, the back, and the edge. So
Right.
you got to look every place to find out what the truth is. And that's why I
Yeah.
got a high respect for Shiva and that Porch Porch Talk stream I was listening to, and I noticed you come up, so I left that stream. But she had a video of a nurse who was also some kind of medical inspector or examiner, and I think the swabs got something like ethylene. Oh, I don't know. It's X. It says EO, which stands for a chemical that has the first letter of ethylene oxide, I think it is, or something like that. And this chemical is supposed to cause cancer. So you figure
Hmm.
all the people that don't want to have the vaccine and they got to be tested to go to work once a week or something, they're being exposed to that chemical repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that thing was made. These swabs are made in China. You know, they're made in
Yeah.
China. It's just another way to chemically suppress us.
Well, think about this. They'll only allow vaccinated people to work. You know what that means, right? That means that all these people that get vaccinated will essentially be sick and won't be able to work.
You know,
Then the business has to close down because they can't hire anybody unvaccinated who are healthy.
Okie Dean, I'm so sorry your father passed away. I'm so sorry. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, man. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm
But
so sorry.
to add to maybe the doom and gloom of it is we're going to see people more and more that will die because of this.
Yeah,
And it won't be an immediate thing. It'll be this long onslaught of essentially what comes to patient abuse.
yeah, yeah. Well, one of our mutual friends we were talking to said that her girlfriend's husband, which they're very close to, they didn't offer him any medicine at the hospital. And he wasn't that old. I think he was in his 30s or something. I'm not sure, but um, and they intubed him or whatever the hell they do there. And he died, but they did not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age he was, and I'm so sorry. That their what his symptoms were. Okay, that shouldn't happen to anybody like that. I am so sorry. Oh, God bless him and God rest his soul. Um, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, she's all upset because they killed her friend. She used to go out in nature with them and duck hunting or whatever and all that stuff. And it sounded like they had a really nice relationship. And, you know, uh, yeah, I'm hearing a lot about that, about the elderly people. But, it's like, why don't they just leave the elderly people alone? Because not for nothing, it's not protecting them. A lot of them are just getting sick from that shot. And elderly people are frail, and they got frail systems and stuff for the most part.
Yeah, they're very susceptible because, quite frankly, the diets that they're on are not necessarily that they're good.
Well,
Um,
they're in nursing homes. The ones in the nursing homes, especially, they give them lousy food.
exactly. That's basically what I was thinking when I was saying that. Um, it's all connected with the nutritional values that we have in our grocery stores. I mean, it's very tough to get what you need in your body to keep you healthy. Because, quite
Yes.
frankly, if you give yourself the proper nutrition, you can stave off anything
Yeah.
because that's the way our bodies were designed. We
I'm
are
just,
made to heal.
I'm so sad for Oki. That is so sad.
I feel his pain. I believe my mother died in the very beginning of this. And they used the same procedures they've been doing with everybody else. But I didn't recognize it at the time because it was still brand new. Yeah. Yeah.
How old
Hey,
was she,
Carolyn.
Vex?
Hmm?
How old was she, Vex?
She was 55. No,
Oh my,
65. Sorry.
wow. Yeah.
But the thing that killed me about with my mother and everything, she was starting to get better before the doctor decided to essentially give her a pneumonia shot. She wasn't feeling bad for one day. She had other, conditions she was dealing with, but she wasn't feeling good, and she didn't want to, argue with the doctor. And he shot her up with something that he knew was going to attack her system.
Oh man.
And I can't call him a doctor. I can't. But this is the way that they're taught. Doctors, as most of them, for the most part, want to do good things. It's the ones that don't care, that have lost their humanity, which there are quite a few.
Well,
That
too,
ruin it
Vex.
for everyone. What's that?
A lot of they're not taught certain things. They're not. They're just not taught certain things, and they have to follow protocol. And if they don't follow that protocol, a lot of times they get booted out of the hospital and stuff. They'll lose their jobs too. It ain't. It's just as bad for them, I think, in a way, than people trying to work someplace and they want to give them a vax.
Yeah, real
Um,
quick, I want to say good night, Moonlight, sweet dreams.
Night, Moonlight Gypsy. Have a safe trip.
But yeah, think about this. When all this happened, there was people losing their jobs because, everything was shutting down. They kept on saying the hospitals were overflowing, even though there was no patients in them. So they ended up laying off a bunch of medical workers.
Yeah.
And now there's a shortage because all the medical workers that were laid off or fired went and got jobs elsewhere
Yeah.
or did their own thing, whatever it was. So they can't get them to come back. Now
Yeah.
they're going to get a whole new crop of young medical, we'll just call them technicians. They're going to have a whole new young crop of new technicians in the medical field. And they will be only effective as what they've been taught in these medical schools, the same way all these college students are in these colleges. They will have they will have no real medical knowledge. They're going to be able to, when you go see the doctor, he's going to say, do you feel this and feel this, feel this? Okay, checking down my clipboard. Okay, yeah, you got COVID. So everything is going to be COVID. And then it's all going to be one medical treatment for everyone. So basically, hospitals are no longer going to be hospitals. They're going to be morgues.
Well, I hope that some of these young people expand their horizons medically, and
They won't.
you know,
They can't. I mean, if
well,
you're only taught one thing, you're only going to know that one thing.
yeah, but that doesn't mean that some people don't do some private research on their own too.
Well, that's true. I am generalizing.
Yeah, try not to go overboard. I mean, some people are thinking that if a lot of people leave the hospitals because they don't want to be vaxxed, which there's a lot of them, that I should have said that word either. I'm sorry. That they're going to have people come over from foreign countries to do the medical field. I don't know, give them work visas or something. I really don't know. How the hell do we know? I mean, it's possible that could happen. But maybe some of the ones that are doing something else might go back to a hospital. Who knows? You really
Oh,
don't
I'm
know.
sure there will be. I mean, there are people out there that are dedicated to the medical profession,
Hmm.
and they want to do a good job, and they want things to be, they want to be healers, but they're not taught anymore how to heal people. They're taught how to administer to symptoms instead of going after the cause.
Hmm.
I know this for a fact because I went in and tested my doctor, who was my mother's doctor,
Yeah.
and I gave him a list of symptoms, and he instantly wanted to put me on medication. Well, I didn't need medication. All I needed was vitamin C.
Hmm.
I mean, that's all I needed. But he wanted to put me on, what was it, 2 different pills.
Hmm.
And I'm like, what are the side effects? Oh, there's a few. Well, yeah, I guess there is. He wanted to give me a pain medication when all I needed was some vitamin C. And he wanted to give me antibiotics.
Hmm.
Are you freaking kidding me? That's not a doctor. That's a pharmaceutical drug dealer.
Yeah, that's true, Okideen. Okideen says human nature teaches most people to do the least amount of work for the most gain. Well, on the other hand, you got a lot of nurses that are learning Reiki, uh, and a lot of nurses, people that work, nurses' aides and stuff like that I know that do Reiki,
Uh-huh.
uh, they'll do Reiki while they're working on somebody. Um, I know that for a fact because I know people in the medical field. But I mean, there's some doctors that will, uh, how should I say it? They won't follow the straight protocol. They'll stand their ground,
Yeah.
because they know better. And
I
some
hope.
people are just too scared to lose their jobs, so they'll go with the flow. But what needs to happen in the medical community is everybody needs to come together and put their heads together. Everybody, the people that are in the natural medicine, the people that are in alternative medicine, and the people that are in a regular medicine, all need to come together.
Well, like I said, it's all connected, and even this is all connected.
Yeah.
And we can go into the frequencies and vibrations and all that. But essentially, what it comes down to is doing the right thing, having a
Hmm.
strong moral base.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not taught uh, to have one.
Hmm. Well, the other thing you got is in the medical field is the insurance companies. Everybody knows that, and they're
Mhm.
trying to control everything, and they make the caseload so heavy on some of these doctors that they don't have time to deal with it the way they would like to. You
Of
know?
course not. I mean, it was everything is a service industry.
Yeah.
It has become a service industry. Even the doctor's office. You go in, you sit down, you wait till you're called, you're ushered into a room, you do
Mhm.
whatever you have to do with the doctor, and then you're pushed out and please pay on your before you go out the door.
Well, I can remember when I was a kid living here in town, we had a doctor who would make house calls, come to the home, check you out and all that. He carried a medicine bag with him. If you needed medicine, you got medicine. If you need to go to the hospital, he'd make sure you got to the hospital. He's a kindly elderly man.
Hmm.
And I think there should be more doctors that can do stuff like that. That's what we need to do is go back to some of the old fashioned things. And, there's some doctors that do both regular doctor work and naturopath at the same time, and not too many anymore. I don't think, at least not in my state. I think the naturopath is illegal in my state, from what I understand.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And but there needs to be some open mindedness. You're not going to get that with a lot of these people. You're quite right. I'm very sorry about your mom, Vex. Uh, Yeah, that's pretty young. My sister too was 65 when she passed. She did not have COVID, but she died of pneumonia. When anyway, they wanted to put her in a nursing home, and the nursing home, well, she had COPD, and she needed a certain type of machine. It wasn't an oxygen machine per se, but it had to be a machine to push the carbon dioxide out because she had trouble getting the carbon dioxide out of her lungs. It's a little bit different.
Huh.
And the nursing home wouldn't take responsibility for that machine, I guess. I know. So they didn't have any place for her to go, and she couldn't stay in the hospital no more. So she talked to the doctor, and she came home on hospice and died 2 days later after spending a
Mm.
month in the hospital. And but I mean, who knows what would have happened if they had that machine and she was able to get the treatment she needed.
And
It just
and
blows
people
my
won't even
mind.
consider it. People
No.
won't even consider it because of the monetary value on it.
Yeah, well, they didn't want the responsibility of the machine, or if the machine failed or some damn thing. You know?
Yeah, it was a liability, so they didn't want to invest in it.
Yeah.
it it's
It goes to
it-
show you that when you got the big companies or whatever around things, that they don't give a shit about anybody's life. And, you know, uh, people deep down inside that are working in the medical profession, a lot of them care a lot. Oh, it's a difficult profession to work in. I'll tell you. I don't think
yeah.
I'd be able to do it under this system we have where the insurance company dictates to everybody what the hell they should be doing.
Yeah.
You know,
I know I wouldn't be able to work in this situation. I'd have done been fired.
yeah. But I don't know this thing with the kids. Yeah, there was a lot of talk at the meeting for the mothers that are going through experiences with their kids at school, uh, trying to deal with that. And, I had more ideas about that, but I really didn't get to speak up. There was so many talking. I would have liked to have spoken more, to the mom that had some disabled kids, but you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's something that's been going around a lot. It reminds me of people pulling them, their kids out of schools now and stuff. If you have kids in public schools right now, you should seriously, seriously consider getting them out.
well, there's a
All
lot
right.
of places that are starting or considering starting some kind of co-op with the parents where they all get together and educate the kids,
Exactly. Just like the old
and
days.
and that's something I guess we're gonna have to start to do. Um, because if you don't want your kids exposed to certain stuff, you should be able to have the right not to have them exposed to that. What's really weird is, I know a while back I was reading something and I saw that there was this woman into education. She was in at Harvard, and I think she was having some kind of conference on, trying to stop people from homeschooling their kids.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that at all. Uh,
Hell no. I mean, that's basically taking the rights of the parents away from them. And that is just bull.
yeah, well, they're pretty good at doing that on all fronts, really.
Yeah. I mean,
And
everybody should by now notice the big gaping holes in everything they talk about, where it's completely the opposite, and people are making it mainstream to essentially assault these children. I mean, in schools. I mean,
yeah,
wearing masks would have been considered Epstein. Good to see you. Mask would have been considered child abuse and was
yeah,
considered child abuse. So what
yeah,
has changed? The Democrats are in charge, making up shit. That's what's changed.
yeah. Well, it's a pretty complicated matter, but these children deserve better. I mean, they're making it in some places that the kids don't even have to pass any of their classes in order to graduate. They just need to be there.
Yeah,
Uh,
everybody
you
gets a
know,
participation trophy.
and that's not right either because you got so many kids that can't even read or write or do basic math.
Well,
Uh, and
that's
they
what they
they
want.
need the basics, and it just ain't right. And I don't know if that's the inner city kids getting affected more or what's going on. If they made that rule, that's wrong, and I don't agree with it. And a lot of people are bitching about the teachers' unions and stuff. And
Hmm. As they should.
yeah, and uh, I used to believe in unions, but when the unions are doing stuff that ain't right, some of the education these kids are getting, they shouldn't be getting.
That's right.
That stuff that should be addressed at home, or with a doctor or whatever. But jeez, you know, uh, listening to the meeting last night and listening to what was said about that, especially in the Florida area, I was freaked out about that.
Hmm.
You know, but you hear it and you don't know whether it's the truth or not. But then when somebody comes out and tells you what's going on, and how they're trying to hide it from the parents.
Yeah,
I can only suspect that they're doing it all over the country like that. They're trying to hide what the parents are supposed to be able to see, you know,
exactly.
and they're lying to the parents, and that ain't right. Oh, you got a bunch of control freaks, crazy control freaks. Hi, Epstein's goats. I never heard of Richard Day's NWO 1969 speech.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that myself.
Mm-mm.
Give me a little bit more, or see if you can find a link to it.
Yeah, you want me to try to find a link? I'll see if.
I just gave Epstein a wrench, so he
Okay.
can throw one in. And also, Epstein, there is I pinned the StreamYard link up there at the top of the chat in case you're interested. And that goes for the rest of you guys that are listening.
Yeah, please come up and share in the conversation. Yeah, I noticed Nancy Pelosi was in Worcester, Massachusetts recently. And I noticed too that there, I read that there was a women's group that's got a Harvard lawyer I think they're going to sue Texas over that abortion issue.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Oh,
I
God.
mean, not fun, but you know what I mean. Anytime they're going to try and basically do the same thing about our Second Amendment reinforcement thing we did here in Missouri. They're
Yep.
going to fight it. Well, they can fight it all they want. They don't have any jurisdiction. Period.
Yep.
Same thing with Texas. They don't have any jurisdiction to tell Texas anything.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, it works the other way around.
Exactly. You know, they want to dictate all this stuff, and the states have states' rights. If they want to try to change the law on that without the people voting on it, they got a friggin' problem. They seem to think they can change all these laws, without any uh, concern for what the people of the country think. And that isn't right.
Well, I just keep pointing everybody towards the Patriot Act. I mean, what about that was about patriots? It was
Nothing.
all about taking away your rights,
Yeah.
and people went for it.
Well, I don't think people realized what it was. They were scared and they thought, it was going to be a lot more terrorist attacks and all that.
Exactly. Even then, they used the fear. They engineered the whole incident, but they used the fear to scare the crap out of everybody in the United States. It
Yeah.
could happen to you. Let's give up your rights and we'll protect you.
Yeah.
Little did we know it would bring us exactly to where we are right now.
Yeah. I can remember the day of the Boston bomb, and I was supposed to be in Boston. I was going to go watch my friend who was running in the race. A lot of us went to high school together. I was going to stand at the end of the line, wait for him to come in. But my husband wanted to go look at a piece of real estate, go for a ride. So I went with my husband. And, the bomb went off. And, we were worried because some people we couldn't find.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my friend who had just run that race, and his partner had to walk for, I don't know, 3 hours or something. And they live right there in Boston. They had to walk quite a ways to get back home. I don't know why. I think it was just there was so much confusion and all going on because they had a lot of police, and they even had tanks. They had some kind of tank, I guess, going down the street, and they were looking for one of the kids that was responsible.
Hmm.
But You know, it was pretty bizarre. It was frightening for us. I mean, I was on Facebook for hours. We were trying to figure out where the hell everybody was, and thankfully, none of my friends got hurt. Just people that got hurt around them. One of my friends, her husband, just kind of got her out of there as quick as he could, and she saw some stuff that freaked her out. I think she had PTSD
Mhm.
there for a while,
No doubt.
and that was a pretty freaky time. So, I really hope that we don't have any more stuff like that happen. But I don't know, a lot of people are getting a bad feeling that we might get something else go on here in the country, and that I'm concerned about because I don't think some of our top people in the military and all are really. I'm not talking all of them. I'm talking some of them are not with it.
Oh, exactly. I've been saying for the longest time we have at least two different types of military. At least. But real quick, Epstein said basically a Doctor Who from the TV show, I'm guessing, was invited to a secret meeting of what they'll be pushing the gay agenda, indoctrinating the children, get rid of carbon fuel, and get us in to live in smart cities. You're absolutely right. That was the plan. That is the plan. I mean, this is something that actually Alex Jones is famous for. Is he's read all this stuff, and that's what he's been putting on the show and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. The plan was always to basically push us into, well, they're called smart cities, but essentially you can call them smart jails because that's what they are. If you want to know what the model they want for America as a whole, just look at the prison system. It's exactly what they're wanting to put into place. Think about it. Make the comparisons to what's going on in everyday life, and think of what you know about the prison systems and the people how they have it structured on the inside. Think about it. And this is something that has been known for a while. And maybe people haven't drawn all the lines or connected the dots to it, but this is what it is. I mean, you saw when the flu got out in Wuhan in China. You started seeing videos of them being welded inside their homes and stuff like that. Well, it was a lockdown. And they took it literally, of course, but that was the model of what they want for the future. And what happened? It started happening here. Now, granted, nobody got welded into the house, but there were certain areas of the United States right now that you can't go nowhere unless you have a purpose. Show your papers, and going into that, we can go into the phones with, your personal tracking device that everybody gleefully carries around with them. I mean, and that's just one aspect of the phone. They're going to have what do they call it? The COVID tracker thing. What was the name they called it?
I don't know, but you got people getting their, I don't know, this COVID identification there, which is what do you call them symbols that they got now that you use with your phones and all. Well, they got these symbols for their vaccine passport or whatever, how they've been vaxxed or whatever, and the young people are getting them tattooed on themselves so they don't have to carry papers around.
Mark of the Beast.
I don't know what the hell the mark of the beast is, but that just blows my mind. I mean, I would never get a tattoo.
No.
No. My father fought in World War II. And of course, you know what happened then, and there was a lot of people that had those number tattoos on them from the concentration camps and everything. And he made me promise him that I wouldn't get a tattoo. So I did, and I never have, and I never will.
Kind of looked at. I just never could afford one, so I
Well,
never even bothered to think about it.
they
Well,
are
I mean, I thought about it actually, but never did it.
they're expensive, and but I would not do that. I mean, what if I got something and then a few years later I decided I didn't like it? I mean, you can't just erase them things.
That's true.
Uh, it ain't like you do a pencil drawing. So I just think it's the stupidest thing for people to put stuff on their bodies. Some of them look real nice, some of them look way overdone, and but that was my promise to my dad, and I keep my promise to him because my dad was good to me, and I understand what he went through, and
Yeah.
I do. I used to travel across the country and sing at all the Rainbow Division reunions for a while. It was World War I and World War II vets, and if you ever went to one of them, and one of them ever asked you not to get a tattoo, you wouldn't get a tattoo after seeing some of the stuff I saw.
No doubt.
And I did have the pleasure of sitting with a man named Duke who fought in World War I, and he used to be a cowboy. And I, didn't have any exposure to cowboys when I was a kid, so I was fascinated. I listened to him for about 3 hours. He looks up at me finally and says, "Girlie, what are you doing? Listen to an old coot like me." I said, "It's like listening to a history book." I said, "I'm
Exactly.
fascinated." So, I mean, it was a really cool experience. And, but I mean, and someday our children are going to listen. Hi, Jim McIntosh. I don't know who you are, but hello.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you.
Someday our kids, um, children, or some of our grandchildren, if we end up having them, uh, they're gonna come across veterans and stuff like that and hear a lot of stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
like the youngest kids and kids that are out now don't remember 9/11. And they don't remember how together our country was back then. I mean,
Well, they did.
everybody was proud to be an American. Everybody was holding up flags and flying flags on their cars and taking, checking in on their neighbors and all that kind of thing. And
Right.
then somehow it just got blown out of the water.
That got turned around. Everything that is good is bad now.
Yeah,
And that was evident throughout, um, hell, the whole election cycle of 2020. Or, with between Trump and Hitler. I mean, Hillary.
Jim McIntosh, thank you for your service. Thank you for your fathers and your grandfathers and your great great grandfathers.
That's a good legacy.
Service. Yeah,
That's awesome.
every generation, not my generation. No, actually, my generation, but every generation that's been in my family. Uh, we were here before the Revolutionary War, and I know I got relatives fought in the Revolutionary War on up, and one of my relatives was very famous, Rebecca Nurse. Rebecca Nurse was my ninth great grandmother, and so I don't know. I got old roots in this country, and I don't know. That's why I think it hurts me so much to see it happen in this way.
Absolutely. I mean, this man, all this stuff that has happened is wholly preventable. The only thing that holds all this together is, well, what I was wanting to talk about originally was the Smith-Mundt Act
Yeah.
and the propaganda being used against us. If that stops, we can take it all back easily.
Well, that plus you got money from not good sources funding things that really aren't good for the country, and and that's the way it is.
But they've been chemically and mentally and physically crippling us for generations.
Yeah. Well.
It needs to stop. I mean, there's
Well.
just no way around it. I mean, whenever you have people that want to do good in general, and then you muddy their thinking and cloud their brains with drugs and make them slow and fat because of all the fast food, and then you stick a device in their hands that can actually hypnotize them with the flicker rates on the screen.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's going to be exactly what we're dealing with today. Hell, just go to the store. You can see it. Hell, walk outside. You'll see somebody jogging with a phone in their face.
Yeah. Jim
It's crazy.
McIntosh. Excuse me, Vex.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to tell you, I got my mother's mother and my father's mother were both from Canada, from Nova Scotia. God bless your family. Anyway, go ahead, Vex. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's all right. But this is being put in our faces 24/7. It's to exhaust us mentally, physically, spiritually. You know, the best defense against all this is to stand up to it. And there. That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Start with your school boards and get your immediate community squared away. Meet with the other parents. Meet with everyday people, just your neighbor. See if they like what's going on.
Yeah.
Then get together and stand up against them because they work for you, but they want you in fear instead of standing up for yourself. And the children are paying the price for it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to grow up not knowing what it is, what freedom is. And if you don't know your rights, they're easily taken from you. 9/11 was a good example of that.
Yep. But it was also a good example of how people come together.
That's true.
And how
But it
people
was all
loved our
through-
country. I mean, we had to, we went through what we went through. Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff go down, but people were actually happy with their neighbors. They were happy with everybody. They were proud and strong together. And that's what we need to come back to as a nation.
I just
And,
had to say that's funny real quick, Jim. Someone slaps you in the forehead. What are you doing running with your eyes closed?
That's funny. It's going to take a lot to turn the country around again, and get people to understand that all of us are important and all of us are brothers and sisters, and we got to work together. We just got to work together.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what this is all about, is
Mhm.
working with each other for a common good, to do common good.
Mhm.
The people in your community is what matters. Think
Yeah.
about it as your counties. The people in your county, that controls your area.
Yeah.
It's not the government. It's not the state. It's not the federal. It's your county that controls the county.
Mhm.
And nobody as far as the state goes or the federal goes, can touch your county unless you give them permission to.
Exactly.
And in giving them permission, you're allowing them to put muzzles, face diapers on your kids, and requiring anybody who wants to work to wear the same. Hey, Zach, welcome, buddy. And you're keeping it, we're allowing this to happen. All we have to do to make it stop is just stand up to them, because they are not in charge. We, the people, are in charge. The answer to all this stuff is we, the motherfucking people, are in charge.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I kind of said it funny.
We both blooped. No, yeah. Yeah. Well, we got to stand strong. Just stand strong. Stand in the truth. You know,
People don't usually understand the power that they already have, because you're not allowed to think that you're powerful as a single human being. As an individual coming together with other individuals to change the course of history, to change the course of the future. I mean, that sounds all overly dramatic, but really it's the truth.
well, I think what's happened is there's been some very, very powerful things around us that's tried to change the course, and it's hard to deal with that, but we're going to have to one way or the other. Thanks for stopping in, Jim.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Hope to see you later.
We're going to have to one way or the other. And I would prefer it that we stand and we don't get into this violence thing people want to get into, and and that we do it in I guess, a civil, peaceful manner.
Yeah.
That isn't to say that you can't have some emotion about it, but I think it's a responsibility that people need to take, and if people don't stand up and be responsible, and work at it, instead of condemning people who are really working at it and trying to do something the right way, they really need to get off their ass and work on something that is a peaceful resolution of things. And the longer stuff goes on, the more difficult that's going to get, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
You
I
know,
mean, we already know how hard it is right now. I mean, just
Yeah.
trying to recruit for the assembly, talk to other peoples, and make sure they understand what their rights are.
well, that's what
I mean,
I was saying. Yeah,
yeah.
in a
I mean,
nutshell.
yeah. I mean, it makes it more difficult because people are still being indoctrinated, even though they don't even realize it. I
Yeah.
mean, even the people will just say that are like us, like-minded and all that. You're still got your face buried in your phone, and the phone hypnotizes you, so that makes you into a drooling idiot. Not to mention all the chemicals that are coursing through our veins right now because of what they put in our air, food, water, everything else in our daily life.
Yeah.
Uphill battle, but you have to make a conscious decision to be able to let go of it, walk away from it, turn your back on it. As a matter of fact, I mean, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Anybody who has an older style phone who wanted to basically, get away from not having the, smartphone type setup. I have an old flip phone, for example. I just got informed from my service provider, and I'm sure everybody else from their service providers got notifications that they're no longer going to support these old phones. They're no longer going to support them. Well, okay. I mean, after all, they do come up with a phone practically every year, so you have to keep on upgrading and stuff like that. That's a scam all in itself, but we're perfectly willing to fork out hundreds of dollars a month to have the latest and greatest, of course. I mean, gotta have this, gotta have that, gotta have that. You know, it's that, gotta have it culture. And I gotta have it now. But
Yeah.
I'm getting the landline. I'm done
Yeah.
with it. I'm done with cell phones. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't hear who I'm talking to half the time anyway.
Exactly.
And I have my phone. The reason why I kept it is because I actually have good service with it. I could actually hear people.
Yeah.
Now everybody else that I talk to, I can't hear them. They can hear me fine, but I can't hear them.
Hello,
Common
common
sense.
sense, common law. Nice to see
Welcome.
you. Yeah. Wow. Well, I just like a landline. There's nothing wrong with a landline. Uh, when we were younger, we had the landlines with the cords on them.
Hell yeah.
And honestly, I could hear a hell of a lot better than these electronic ones. You
Most
know,
definitely.
we get electronic ones in the house here, and half the time I gotta hang up on one and go to another one to try to get it so I can hear a little better. And I never had that problem with the old-fashioned kind of phones at all.
Right.
I
And we
wish
could
we,
get, huh?
I wish we could go back to them.
We can. We just have to do it. That's all there is to it. I mean,
I had one, but I don't know what my husband did. He might have thrown it out. He doesn't agree with me. So, but I
you let
want
me know. I got an extra one. I'll send you.
Oh, good. I'm gonna put it in my room because I can't stand this damn thing.
I think I might even have one of those old rotary ones.
I'm fine with that. I like the old road. That's what I'm talking about. I like the rotary ones.
Don't get me wrong. I like the push buttons better.
Yeah. Well, as long as it has a cord, but I like the old road. I like the earpiece on them. I don't know. I'm just used to that. I just like them.
I actually do have one of the older style multi-line phones that you can
Mhm.
actually hook up a headset to and stuff like that. I can send
Oh,
you that
cool.
one if you like it.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Hey, YouTube's Most Censored. Good to see you, man.
Hi, YouTube Most Censored. What's happening, man?
Guys who have just showed up, I have the StreamYard link up at the top of the chat pinned, so you can join me up here if you wish. I'd kind of like it. Let's get some conversation going on.
Come on in and say hello.
Exactly that. A whole police department resigned in Missouri tonight. No kidding.
Really?
You gotta give me more details than that. Give me a link. You got a wrench.
Well, you know what? It's probably something you can't blame them for.
Now, maybe he'll hit that StreamYard link and tell us about it. Come on, we got breaking news. Bring it on, common law.
Yep. StreamYard links at the top of the chat. Come on in and join us.
There you go. Break it down for us. Let us know what's going on. Whole police department resigned in Missouri.
Wow.
I wonder if it was in one of the cities.
Someone just sent you a screenshot of a headline. Wow. As we both go at the same time, let me see if something came in on my phone.
Yeah, I would bank on that too. YouTube Most Censored. He says only 3 blue counties in Missouri. It's got to be one of them. Yeah, I would bank on it. St. Louis, Kansas City, and crap, I forgot the other one. Or maybe it's not Kansas City. I'm mixing up my facts in my head. Let's see. I do have some local news on my YouTube. Let's see if they've got anything.
I'm looking.
Nothing as of yet. But that's not surprising. They're kind of slow in the uptake. They have to get
Did it
their
just happen?
stories approved. I don't know.
Well, I'm getting this COVID news here on my thingy.
Let's see. Fox News out of St. Louis says 11 changed security at Cardinal Stadium, among other St. Louis places. No more trivial bullshit. So, no real news. Not yet, anyway. Let's see if they got anything on the damn page. Probably not, but yeah, it's worth a look.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something. Oh, God. Lawmaker says statues of reprehensible Abraham Lincoln should be taken down. Lord. Here we go again.
What's that saying about doomed to repeat it? If you don't know history?
Missouri City Police Chief unexpectedly resigns along with every single officer.
Where'd you find that?
On my phone.
Ah.
A Missouri police chief and all his officers tendered their resignations, citing reasons from the pay rate to not having the proper tools to do the job, leaving local leaders scrambling to fill the position, as many departments already struggled to stay staffed during the anti-police climate that swept the nation. It will be a struggle to fill the police department back up with qualified officers, but hopefully they can start working on that soon and get that accomplished, Stone County Sheriff Doug Rader said of the resignations at the Kimberling City Police Department, noting that most police stations are understaffed. Rader's comment comes after Kimberling City Police Chief Craig Alexander put in his notice on August 23rd after accepting another position and told the town's mayor that he wanted a change and to better himself. As defund the police movement trickles down from big cities, small town America pays the price. But Alexander wasn't alone and was joined by 3 officers and a sergeant. The reasons for resignation include there not being a police clerk to assist the department and not having qualified officers in the department, the pay rate, and new opportunities, KY3 reported. I didn't know that there was as many openings in Branson West because we didn't see an advertisement for police, Kimberly City Mayor Bob Fritz said, referring to Alexander and Officer Sean McCafferty taking jobs at the Branson West Police Department. The mayor said that the resignations were unexpected and short notice. Disappointing. We're looking for officers. We're looking for a new police chief, and I think we'll be fine, Fritz said. In the meantime, the Stone County Sheriff's Office will handle emergency calls until the department is staffed. Until then, we will be answering all the calls in Kimberling City. We can't enforce city ordinances, but any other calls we will be handling at this time, Sheriff Rader said. The resignations come as small
for those of you who might be... Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. The resignations come as small town police departments across the country struggle to stay staffed as crimes increase. And following more than a year of politician and activists activists calling for departments to be defunded. A recent survey found there has been 45% increase in the retirement rate and a 20% increase in resignations from officers in 2020 to 21 compared to the previous year, according to the Police Executive Research Forum. Oh, this still is long. Got two more paragraphs. What were you wanting to say?
I was going to say, first of all, A. Allen, welcome. I think I know who you are.
Hi,
And
Alan.
and put up 3 officers, sergeant, and the police chief on Kimberling City Police Department cited several reasons for leaving their post, Stone County in Missouri. Now, that seems to me like an opportunity.
Yeah,
They need a police chief now.
yeah.
So that would be a good way to stick in a constitutional sheriff, or wait, no, that was city police. That'd be, oh, yeah, that kind of nicks what I was going to say. Never mind. I yield.
Do you want me to finish reading this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Larger cities' police departments have also struggled with staffing amid the anti-police sentiment and their local leaders supporting the defund the police movement last summer. But liberal leaders like in Seattle have recently reversed course, and called for departments to be beefed up. As a city, we cannot continue on this current trajectory of losing police officers, Mayor Jenny Duncan said during a press conference in July. Over the past 17 months, the Seattle Police Department has lost 250 police officers, which is the equivalent of over 300,000 service hours. We're on the path to losing 300 police officers. And that's the end of the article.
Thank you, Scrimshaw.
You will.
Hello, Hayden. Welcome.
Excuse me. Hi, Hayden.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty
Oh,
good. We're
We're doing fine, and it's nice to hear from you.
we're going through the stuff basically that's catching our interest here. Where did you actually get that story at?
I got it on my phone news. I just looked for the headlines on the phone news.
Oh,
Yeah, I get some kind of new thing called Newsbreak, and I click on it, and I just looked at the headlines because a fellow in the chat was saying a Common Sense Common Law said someone sent him a screenshot of a headline.
yeah,
So
that
I
was
said,
Hayden.
Yes, so
No, I'm Hayden. That was Common Sense Common Law who said that.
Oh, I see.
okay. But anyway, because I saw that, I just clicked on headlines, and a couple articles down there it was.
Right on.
Oh,
You found the article?
yeah,
Awesome.
I just read it.
Yep. I don't know.
Well,
This
Now you guys are gonna have to update me. I guess everybody watching doesn't want to hear that again, so never mind.
Well,
I'll read the
Hey,
article
Alan
I told you guys
says-
about later.
A. Allen says 3 officers, a sergeant, and the police chief of Kimberling City Police Department cited several reasons for leaving their posts, Stone County, Missouri. That's basically it. They all left. The whole department left. I guess that was.
Were they good reasons, at least?
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Now maybe we can get him all into the sheriff's department.
They probably got probably had somebody saying they were gonna obey Biden's orders, or they're gonna get fired.
YouTube Most Censored, I think, has got a great idea. Deputize voluntary citizens. Should just deputize them anyways.
Well, see, the city police will never really do that unless they absolutely have to. But the sheriffs in the individual counties, they will.
Yeah.
See, that's where the strength lies anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I don't have anything. I have absolutely nothing against the people who hold the job of police and being a police officer. I have nothing against them personally. But an actual police force, that alone, I hate the concept. It's policy enforcement.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's fabricated money collecting. Just makes me mad.
You and me both, brother. Yeah. I've made it no secret that I've been going in and out of courtrooms for the past couple of months for getting pulled over without, because I don't have their proper registration on my vehicle. Well, I found out, well, everybody should know by now. You don't have to have registration on your vehicle unless you're a commercial vehicle. If you're a commercial vehicle, then by all means, get registered. Make sure you have insurance, because that means you're transporting either cargo or people. And in that case, you should, most likely keep your safety stuff in mind. But I don't transport cargo or anything else to make money, anything like that. So what I have is a private vehicle. And my private vehicle is not subject to the rules because it's private. So I've been going in real quick. I'll finish up real quick. Now, I'll be going into on the 15th. And I'm going to go in there and beat it, just like I've beat every other one that I've gone. And they have no choice but to acquiesce. Go ahead, Hayden.
I was just gonna say I find it comical that they make everybody believe that they have to have a driver's license, which, like you just said, is only if you're conducting commerce. Do you actually need that? But when people are actually using the vehicle or their truck or whatever for commerce, there's subject to additional inspections, DOT inspections, and even CDLs, and much more. So they find a way to tax you, and then find a way to tax the real reason on top of the fake reason. And it's I don't know. I was on the phone with my father earlier, and we were talking about a lot of how it's all just I was explaining to him how it's all a corporation and it's all a bunch of privateers or pirates out to get your money. And I guess in this case, it's highway. I can't even get the pun right. Highway robbery. That was going to be a good pun, but I stuttered. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I've had YouTube Most Interest said, is there a particular judge that hates you, Vex? No, the system hates me because I'm pointing out the flaws in it. He next said, I can just imagine when they say next and the name Vex comes up and the judge runs away. I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. As a matter of fact, I haven't had to go that far yet to make the judge evacuate the bench, but it is possible. Technically Epstein, no. I don't still need insurance, but I carry insurance just because. My insurance, I got liability, and it's relatively cheap, so I go ahead and get insurance. Just if nothing else, then if somebody hits me or I hit somebody else, then the other person's taken care of. Personally, if my vehicle gets totaled, it'll suck really bad because getting back and forth to work and stuff like that would be a pain. But at least the other person to be taken care of, and it won't ruin their life to lose their vehicle. And I know how much a vehicle is important to people.
Well,
But,
if you total your vehicle, Vex, while pitching, get you a nice pair of shoes, you have some sweet Lamborghinis, you can hoof it.
Yeah. It is no, it's not always the same judge. No, it's a different judge each time. As a matter of fact, the first judge I went before, he was actually good natured about it. He was like, "Good job" and stuff like that. And the last judge I went to see was actually complimented me on my argument. And so I was like, "Yeah, I know." I mean, the one judge I had before this last one, he was kind of just an outright dick. So I had to kind of mess with him a little bit because he was so full of himself. But yeah, I kind of hope I run into that judge for my final thing again, just so I could stick it in his face, rub it in like dog turd.
There's a quasi judge that runs a traffic court in the basement of the YMCA in Bonner Springs, Kansas, and that man hates my guts, and I'm proud to say it. This commissioner or quasi judge, I walked in there. I had never been in there before, but I walk in there. He looks like he just got back from vacation and he's trying to heal from his sunburn, his face. He's got bleach white hair, and he is, I'm not kidding in the slightest, wearing a pink suit. He's wearing a pink suit. And I wanted to just laugh in his face, but
yeah. Real quick, YouTube most censored. Get in contact with me. I still want to talk to you about some stuff, And have a great night.
Yeah.
Not YouTube most censored. Hey, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
And Andra, hi, Callie. Andra is definitely correct. This judge had a ginormous ego. And when I informed the bailiff I was entering the courtroom, when I signed in on the little piece of paper out front, I put "by" and then my name, upper and lowercase letters. Told the bailiff I was entering the courtroom with all of my rights intact and under common law jurisdiction, and I'm there for just to clarify a matter, nothing further, and I do not acquiesce any of my rights by entering in. And he gave me the weirdest look, but like he didn't know. And then I walked up to the court clerk, told him I was there, said the same thing to her, and she walked up and told that judge, and he just looked. And this basement of this YMCA has got like 50 people in it, and he just looks at me and scowls. I mean, you could tell his soul had just caught fire that second. He got up, turned around, looked at the wall, and then walked out.
Oh, that's funny.
And he left the room for about half a second and walked right back in. So I did the exact same thing and said the exact same thing to the bailiff, court clerk, and he looked at me again. And about 10 minutes after that, he kicked one person waiting for their traffic ticket to get called up there so they could get reprimanded. Or I mean, have justice served.
Right.
He was waiting, and the guy had taken his hat off, but he had been there a while, and I think he was a little bored and fidgety, so he kind of just threw it back on the top of his head. This judge, I've never heard a judge drop so many curse words. Freaked out on this guy, and I feel bad. I wish I could have found this guy and been like, I think that was my fault. I'm sorry. Kicked this guy out of the courtroom, and the guy said, okay, whatever, screw you, man. And the judge called him or told the bailiff to arrest him for contempt. But other than him getting very vocal with me, he didn't try having me in contempt of his court. But
Real quick. Hey, Wizard. Good to see you, brother. For you guys that have just joined us, there's a link at the top of the chat in YouTube that will bring you into StreamYard, and you can join us up here on the panel. Tell us your stories. Let us know what's going on with you. But
did I mention the fact that I after I'd left the court, I called the county sheriff, and told them someone was impersonating a judge in the YMCA.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, they showed up, and they told me I was wrong. And I told them I was very right. And they said, well, we're not going to go arrest him. So is there anything else? And I'm just like, okay, I'll call again in 20 minutes.
A pink suit.
A pink suit.
I wonder
Maybe.
if he was married. Usually his spouses pick out them things for men.
Well, I'd like to think if you're at least, halfway trying to make people think you're administering law, you might put on something a bit more serious.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I guess by all means, dress like a lobster. It's fine.
I was thinking
Oh,
clown, but yeah, lobster.
Well, that would be a red suit. Right?
You guys, you have to understand these judges are clowns. They really are.
A cooked lobster, red suit.
Oh, they're worse than clowns. They're angry clowns. Angry clowns who want your money. They don't even give you a balloon.
Grumpy clowns.
It's hilarious because honestly, before I started finding out about this stuff, I was afraid of law enforcement. I was afraid of judges, and every time I had to go into court, which wasn't very often, I will admit, but whenever I did, I was nervous and felt like I was going to throw up. Had that little, stuff in the pit of my stomach just churning and stuff like that. Yeah, it was the fear of it. I have no fear like that anymore because I am better than them. You are better than them. They are nothing but lackeys. They are servants for us. We are their boss. It's like you have a family, mom, dad, son, daughter, and you get a babysitter. Well, it's more or less like allowing the babysitter to run the house instead of the parents. It's unheard of. That person works for you. That person does what you tell it to, or nothing at all. And that's the attitude you have to have when you deal with them. When I get pulled over, I look at it as an opportunity because I'm going to school this freaking cop. And I'm going to be happy and polite the entire time I'm telling him how stupid he is. Because a high school dropout knows more about the law than he does.
You're something else, Fexy.
Power is intoxicating. And in learning this, I have gained so much power and I am so drunk with it. I love it. I really do. I don't see how everybody isn't doing this. I mean, you don't need drugs. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to do acid or any of that stuff. Fucking get on the power trip. You don't need to drink that beer after work. Read the law and then wait to get pulled over. You will be like, oh, bring it on.
Oh, no, thank you. I'll pass on that. The wizard's saying, after Mr. Potato Head's speech last night, my spidey senses were tingling about the 9th and 10th Amendments getting bruised a bit. That jackass. Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
The power of the individual is great. But when you get a group of people together that are working towards the same goal, the power is unstoppable.
Did you hear that fool threaten the governors? If the governor doesn't go along with his game plan, he's going to go after him.
Well, of course he is. He's got to make a big play for it. But here's the thing about it. They can't tell the governors what to do.
Nope.
They have no right, no jurisdiction.
He can't
They are
even
lesser
navigate
than.
a sidewalk. I mean, let's
Yeah,
get
for
serious. He cannot navigate a sidewalk, a flight of
Even
stairs,
it's that.
or even put out a full sentence.
I think it's elder abuse. He don't belong there at all, but they're going to keep him in there so that they can keep pushing him around.
Well, yeah. When you got a puppet in place, you use it to its full extent. I mean, and that's even beside the point. I mean, they don't have the authority to do anything of what they're doing. And when a president of the corporation writes an executive order, it is an order for the executive members of the federal government. Or actually, no, I said that wrong. It is actually it's issued to the federal government, not to the people. No, that's to the corporate employees. Now, the corporate employees is everybody who works for the government.
Mm-hmm.
It applies to them, not us. They don't have the jurisdiction. They don't have the right. But they make you think they do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's the problem we face.
Mike Parson knocked it out of the park today with his rebuttal to Biden.
Was that a stutter?
That was just my Biden impersonation.
Gotcha.
No, but in all seriousness, Mike Parson actually, I was tickled pink after
Yeah,
hearing what he said. I can pull it up if you want me to.
Yeah, that
send you
would
the
be
link.
awesome. Yeah. I would love to
But,
play that.
And Mike Parsons did all that just sitting in front of the McDonald's. I mean, that's a champ right there, waiting to get his Red Friday Chiefs flag.
Yeah, I haven't actually got to watch all of it. I got to read a little bit about it, but that was about it. So I want to see it. I saw it somewhere and I didn't click on it earlier. Damn it. Oh yeah, I still got the Mr. Potato Head thing up. Yeah, seriously though, the power of the people is intoxicating. And I'm just one person just going after registration. And it's printed right there in 18 US codes, plain and simple. Oh, we lost Hayden. He must have hit a button. He'll be back.
He's probably
But-
looking for his article or something.
Yeah. Usually when people are on their phone and they go to look up something, they usually get booted. But yeah. Whenever you say certain things like quote an 18 US code about registration, then they know exactly what you're talking about. At least in the courtroom. The cops, they don't have a clue. They really don't.
Well, the
'Cause
young
they're
ones don't know this stuff.
Well, most of the older ones don't either because they were not taught this. And
Yeah.
they're not encouraged to actually read up on the laws they're supposed to be enforcing.
Night Wizard, have sweet dreams.
Good night, sweet dreams, wizard. Take care,
It's-
brother.
He says after the Treaty of Paris, Article 5, and the Act of 1871, the government is insolvent and illegal. Yep.
Yeah, we call that de facto. De facto, what that means is illegitimate, but in effect. And de jure is what we're trying to put together. De jure is of the people, by the people, for the people. That's
So
the simplest way I can put it.
we're sort of in suspension here.
Interim?
I say suspension.
Whatever comes before interim.
I don't know. Just put me on a swing high up in the sky, and I'll be suspended and happy and swinging.
We'll get you some anti-gravity boots. How about that?
That'd be kind of fun. I kind of like that, considering I'm so heavy. I wonder. That would make me lose weight on the scale. I could tell the doctor I've lost 100 pounds or something.
Cheating.
Yep. Well, I
All
could
right,
stand on it with one foot, right?
one foot on.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Did you find it, Hayden?
Oh yeah, Vexite.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up.
Sorry, I
Yeah, I'm
got a little sidetracked.
Hey, favor real quick, and both of you mute, and go ahead and play this real quick,
Okay.
so I can get to the right tab.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson, good morning, sir. Happy Red Friday.
Oh, it's great. It's great to be up here on Red Friday. Season's about ready to open up. Great cause here today with the Ronald McDonald House. So it's rocking out here. A lot of people coming in. A lot of stuff.
Last time I was at Red Friday with you, you were here, was 2019. They went and won the Super Bowl. So you got a prediction for the season?
Yeah, boom. They're going to do great this year. I think, the first 3 games of the season is going to be big games for the Chiefs. You've got to get through that episode of the season. But if we can come out of that on top of that, it's going to be a great opportunity. So, why not? We was here last time. We went Super Bowl. It's the first Super Bowl I got to go to. I'd love to go to my second one.
I know it's Red Friday. You're a Chiefs fan. You're also the governor. There's a lot going on with the pandemic right now. I just wanted to ask you, it's our first time we've heard from you since you were tweeting yesterday in response to President Biden's plan.
Right.
You called it heavy-handed government overreach. He's asking governors to require that school employees get vaccinated. Do you plan to do that?
I do not. I think it's a terrible policy what the president did yesterday. I think it undermines the whole constitution of our country. The states are the ones that should be making choices for ourselves, and that we should be doing that. The federal government should be assisting us, and Missouri does that. I trust the local people make the right decision, trust the schools, have this entire pandemic And we've done the right thing in this. And we continue to move forward with the vaccine in this. To try to make a blanket policy, the President of the United States for all the states, it just won't work. And there'll be a tremendous amount of pushback from that. And this is all about the Afghanistan deal. This is a political spin on trying to get away from that fiasco that he did in Afghanistan. It's a terrible policy.
Governor Person, we've had, kids cannot get vaccinated yet. We've had a lot of quarantines and school districts around the area. And also our hospitalization rates are at points where they were before the vaccine was available. I know there's a vaccine incentive, but our state vaccination rates are lower than the national rates. Do you plan to take any new steps to battle COVID-19?
Yeah, we've been doing that all along. I think, right now, vaccines available anywhere you go in the state of
Are you doing anything new?
Talk about the infusion teams. We've built on the infusion teams across the state. We're spreading that, trying to keep people out of the hospital. But the reality of it is our numbers are going down. In the COVID front, even the positivity rate, we were going down by almost a third of where it was, and hospital rates are going down. We know that. Our biggest concern right now is our kids that are out there with the Delta variant, making sure we do everything we can to protect them.
Are you planning to call a special session? At least one lawmaker asked if you would in response to President Biden.
Yeah, I don't know. This just come out yesterday. We'll have to look at that, but I don't know at this point that we'd be calling a special session on that, because I reckon right now the Attorney General is well capable if we're going to push back on the legal front, and then we're going to push back as governors. We're just not. I don't know what 100 employees makes a difference. Whether it's 100, whether it's 90, whether it's 200. That's just a name they threw on the wall, or a number they put on the wall. Makes no sense, And what you'll end up doing is you'll take a company that's got 100 employees, and all of a sudden, instead of expanding, they'll say, "Hey, I don't want to hire anymore." There's just lots of policy problems with that kind of policy that the president's trying to put in. I don't think it's well thought through. We're just going to have to see what action we're going to take. But I will guarantee you, we will push back. And we're not going to force people in this state to take a vaccine. We're not going to do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Guys, back.
Well, he didn't go a lot deeper into it, which I would have liked. Yeah, well, he said quite a few things. And what he said was right.
I just like that he said, no, it's against the Constitution, it's against the state constitution, and we're not forcing anybody to take anything. And this 100 employee number, this is a random thing they came up with to try and slow down the economy. And this is also just a way for them to change the news cycle.
Yeah.
Don't want anybody focusing on the fact that Biden called a drone strike on what was allegedly some Taliban forces who were apparently loading bombs into the back of a truck. Turns out they drone striked the wrong people. Well, it wasn't actually the wrong people. They were loading jugs of water into the back of a truck.
Oh my God.
Oh. I mean, how much worse can this get? I mean,
what'd they do? Send a pilot up?
They probably gave
needed glasses or something. Jesus Christ!
They
I
probably
never heard of anything so stupid.
It probably just gave our doorknob of a president the controller to the freaking drone.
Oh my God!
Yeah, well, expect more of it.
Yeah.
All the wrong decisions being made.
Biden's about as useful as a popsicle stick stuck in your shoelaces.
Start calling them spudding.
All right. So, anybody hear anything about the audits and stuff?
I haven't actually heard much about the audits lately, which kind of worries me.
Yeah.
I heard somebody, I guess, got suicided.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
Yeah.
They crashed a car, or maybe they had a heart attack this time. I don't know.
Maybe somebody messed with the computer controls in the car. You never know.
Before I moved to Missouri, I was a full-time automotive technician for Ford, and when I was doing a lot of my training, I really never thought that was possible for your car to be taken over.
Yeah.
But Jeep came out with a vehicle. It's I can't remember the name of. It's real boxy looking. Well, I guess all Jeeps are boxy looking, so that doesn't help. Anyways, long story short, they had added Wi-Fi diagnostic capabilities to the vehicle, and after they had released the vehicle to the public for sale, people would drive up next to these cars, access the vehicle's Wi-Fi diagnostics, and could activate and test that vehicle's ABS system. Or for anybody who doesn't know what that is, the automatic braking system. So if you're in the left lane and they're in the right lane, you can just drive right next to them and make that car hit the brakes all by itself from the next car over. And I'm sure with whatever
Hello, anybody there? Did we all freeze up? Hello? Oh, okay. Yeah, Hayden. I just saw this. Yeah, a drone strike military called Righteous mistakenly targeted an aid worker and killed 10 Afghan civilians, including 7 kids. That's what I got here on the Business Insider. Good grief. It's unbelievable. Okay, I'll read this while I think Vexy had to take a little break, so I'll read this news article I heard here. The U.S. military claimed in August 29 drone struck successfully took out an imminent threat, but a New York Times report based on newly obtained footage suggests that the strike mistakenly targeted an aid worker. 10 Afghan civilians, including 7 children, were killed in the strike. The U.S. targeted an aid worker with a drone strike in Kabul, mistakenly believed he was an ISIS-K militant preparing for a terror attack, according to the New York Times report. In the progress, the August 29 strike killed 10 Afghan civilians, including 7 children. The aid worker, Zamari Ahmadi, was also killed by the 20-pound Hellfire missile fired at his car, per the report. Good God. She needs a gummy.
I'm back.
The U.S. military framed the threat posed by the car as imminent and defended the drone attack as a righteous strike. Officials said the military believed the car was being packed with explosives for an attack. But the footage obtained by the New York Times suggested Ahmadi was actually loading the car with water containers for his home. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to the insider's request for comment, so I'm gonna end what I'm saying there because there's more to the article. I probably won't be able to find the article again. I can't believe that. How stupid was that?
Well, it just goes to prove how great our intelligence agencies are. Can't tell water from anything else.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and it's going to keep getting more and more ridiculous as time goes on. I mean, it's going to be, they're going to tell us one story when something totally opposite is happening. It's here. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what the right hand's doing while the left hand stabs you. It's
And
the same thing.
they're gonna make our allies hate us if
Well,
they
they
haven't
already do.
already. You know?
Even the allies we have right now aren't even our allies. I mean, everybody thinks that the UK is on our side.
Oh no,
Please.
they ain't. I think it was Nigel Farage or something come out and said that we'll never be able to trust the Americans again.
Of course not.
It's terrible what our government is doing.
Well, absolutely. And that's just the surface stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know that Death to America is a popular chant over there in the sandy regions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, we stand for all that is good, right? And just.
The
And
people
they
do.
don't.
But our government is a mess.
Hi, Ms.
Hi, Miss. Oh, don't mention brownies, man. I want to bake a batch of brownies and eat the whole damn thing. No.
All right, let's not turn this towards food.
I'm trying to
Yes, I
be a
have to
good
eat.
girl.
I'll have to end the stream and go cook.
Okay. You can bake me some brownies and they'll be far enough away from me. I won't eat them.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Make sure your cook's out of state.
Yeah. Hi,
But-
Miz. Yeah, that's really unbelievable. Well, that was the first I heard of that. I really haven't looked too much at the news. You know,
I barely pay
That's-
attention to anything that's
That's really-
called news anymore.
that's really sad to hear those people all get killed like that. Jeez. What the hell?
Man, Allie in the chat's going to start talking about food.
Yeah. Oh. Alan's talking about sourdough bread, man. I'd rather have the brownies.
I would kill for a nice soft pretzel.
Yeah. Or some fried chicken.
Stop it.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I used to actually make homemade bread when I was younger. I should probably do it again.
Hello. Yeah, my grandmother never bought a loaf of bread, I don't think, in her whole life.
Smart woman.
She used to make bread all the time. Best bread in the world. Ugh. Bavarian pretzel with mustard. Oh my God.
I was just thinking about the pretzel bread with no
Oh.
salt by itself. Mm.
I'll take the Bavarian pretzel. A Reuben. Oh my God. You guys are making me hungry.
They're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I know. Hey. Cut it out, man. You're gonna make me go snack and then my sugar's gonna go up.
Yeah, for those of you who might not know, up there at the top of the chat is a pinned StreamYard link. If you are so inclined, hit that button, follow the directions, put on your headphones, and join us up on the panel.
Hey, Alan, send me that Bavarian pretzel and make sure it's Dijon mustard. I'll
Ooh la
have some
la.
Grey Poupon.
Yeah, I don't get into all those fancy mustards. They taste weird to me.
I like Grey Poupon, but my husband got something else and it don't taste right.
I don't know if it's a nationwide brand, but the one I always get is Plotchkins.
Okay. I don't know what we got for yellow mustard. Oh, damn. They keep going with the damn food. Well, if you're going to talk about food, come on up and talk about food.
No, just come on up. Don't talk about food. Guys are going to end my stream.
Yep.
But
They're
Yeah.
all laughing down there. Miss Red Badger's laughing.
of course they are.
Well, come on up and tell us what's happening today with the news.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on where people are starting to get fed up with all this stuff. And it's good to see that people are standing up and starting to fight for their rights finally.
Mhm.
But we need more. We need to reinforce them. Make more people aware of what's going on and what they can do to help themselves and their neighbors. And
Yep.
it's something simple as getting together against your school board. I mean, and if that doesn't work, pull your kids out. I know everybody's got such a busy life now. Everybody's, doing their things, but they're not learning what we want them to be taught. Sorry. They're not learning what should be taught to them. They're
Yeah.
learning this bullshit. And Hayden's back. Welcome back, Hayden.
Hey, Hayden.
They didn't. I guess they didn't appreciate what I was saying.
Who didn't appreciate what you were saying?
Yeah, the internet gods.
Oh,
Those fall fucks. But yeah, it's probably that new phone you got.
Well, in all reality, I got the new phone, and I was excited that I had a new phone, and I left the store, but I, for some reason, didn't pay my bill while I was at the store, which
oh
would have
no.
made so much sense. So what actually just happened was I had to go pay my phone bill real quick because I'm a big airhead. I forgot to do it.
That wouldn't be the first time someone forgot to do something.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting tired of paying all these damn bills.
Mm-hmm.
I could I'll segue into well, I don't
I'm
know if
getting
anybody
tired
else
of my money being worth less.
yeah, that too. But this summer my electric bill went up double because there's our infrastructure is crap just like it is everywhere else on purpose. And I couldn't pay my bill because it was too much. I mean, I paid my regular bill, but I didn't pay the extra fee. And they basically said, okay, fine, we're just going to shut you off. I mean, does that sound like, something that should be done? I mean, I don't know, I'm not too well versed in all the correct crimes, but it sounds to me like extortion. Anyone?
Yeah.
Maybe if it's a certain temperature outside.
Well,
Vex. This might be the first thing I haven't agreed with you on.
yeah,
Unless it's like
I'm-
100 degrees outside, then that's I would say that's out of line.
Well, I'm also going into the vein of it's more or less a monopoly. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
to me, that's just straight up extortion. Now, if I'm, say, behind on something, but yet still paying, they shouldn't have the right to just shut off my service.
No, they shouldn't.
I see, I was still paying what I could, and that was most of it. But they decided to, send me a notice for disconnection anyway. Now, what kind of crap is that?
They just want to get the fee,
If it's
Well,
in
turn
this,
it back on again.
if it's in the contract of service,
Oh, there you go. Contracts. What state do I live in? I'm in Missouri. But yeah, it just out of nowhere, it's a summer charge that doubled my electric bill. And if I didn't pay it in full, then they were shutting it off. Now, mind you that in the past, I always pay my bill on time and always pay the full amount until this happened. Because, quite frankly, I'm still working part-time, so I didn't have the money to pay extra. Same thing happened with my vehicle registration. Didn't have the money to pay it. So now, I'm thinking I might have to go butt heads with the electric company.
that's when you call them up and ask them if they accept promissory notes.
Payment pennies.
A wholehearted IOU. Please
Mhm.
turn the AC back on. I promise.
I mean, I can handle the heat. I mean, I'm fairly decent at adjusting, but I paid for it, so I want it. That's not too extreme, I believe.
Well, I mean, if you're settled up with them,
Well, I'm still not settled up with them. I had to make a deal with them.
Ah. So they cut you off so they could get you on the phone.
Yeah, more or less. That's why I said it's extortion. I mean, yeah, we just decided you're going to pay an extra, whatever, a month. Well, you can't just do that.
Is it the city that's
Well,
providing the electric?
It's Ameren UE. I don't actually know if it is city.
If it's through the city, you ought to just start burning coal in your backyard to generate some electricity and see what the city has to say about that.
Jim is asking, how big is my house? I'm just in a 2-bedroom apartment. So my bill's not usually all that, jacked up. But like I said, right now I'm working part-time. So, yeah, any kind of an increase like that's going to totally screw me over. I am picking my battles because this is an injustice, Callie. I mean, what about those people who are on fixed incomes that are worse off than I am?
Yeah.
What about them? Pick my battles. All of it's my battle. I mean, when you're being screwed over, go, well, I'll wait till next time I get screwed over. No, you face it and you take care of it. I'm not one to just walk away and take it. I'll make a deal if need be, which I did, but I will also fight it. Because these motherfuckers, it's a monopoly. And they just arbitrarily decide, we're not going to fix the infrastructure and make it so it's easier for us to all get, the same amount of electricity. No, we can't do that. So we're just going to keep charging you more and more and more and more and more and more. And not do anything to remedy the situation. They're claiming that too much power drain. Well, there's too much power drain because they haven't updated the damn system. Because they're just sitting there collecting fucking checks instead of fixing things. So pick my battles. This is my fucking battle. All of it is.
Oh, just out of curiosity, well, not really curiosity, but a possibility is I don't know what shape your insulation is, but if you're letting any air out to the outside due to a lack of insulation or quality insulation in the walls,
Well,
that'll drive AC up
Well,
or an electric bill up.
definitely. But I can't really. I mean, I could cover my windows and stuff like that. But as far as insulation and stuff like that, I can't do nothing about it. I'm a renter.
Oh,
You know-
if you're a renter, then you can absolutely do something about it
Right.
because the landlord is obligated to maintain that building. You should brush up on that contract or the lease or the agreement.
Have it right here in my drawer.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, the state usually regulates to some degree the what things need or have or should be replaced. And I would think that if you have like a history of receipts of your electric bills, if you can go back and show that they've progressively over the summers gotten more expensive, maybe proof there that you get a leaky window seal or some bad insulation or something somewhere.
No, my original complaint was that normally when I'm using electricity, it's just normal. I can pay it, no problem, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with it is the fact that they doubled it just out of nowhere, deciding that we don't have enough electricity to go around, so we're gonna have to charge you more.
Wow.
Wait, so the actual like meter didn't read that you were using more? They just
Exactly.
doubled the price.
Exactly. A summer charge. That's my point. My AC, I've been living in this place for over 5 years, and I've gotten really good at managing my air conditioning and heat. I've got it marked on my wall over there on a little index card. Don't set it any higher than this. Don't set it any lower than this. And that's what I've been doing every year, all year. Now, out of nowhere, we don't know if we can get the electricity to you, so we're going to have to charge you extra. Well, how about this? Why don't you take the money that we've all been paying all these years and fix the electricity lines, make sure that we do have power? No, they won't do that. They'll rather just charge me and keep collecting the money. That's my point.
Did any of your neighbors experience the same?
Everybody did.
They all experienced the same grievance, huh?
Everybody, as far as I know, got the same notice on their bills.
I don't think you got the hint where I was going with that.
I know it's a grievance, most definitely. And it's a widespread grievance that it can be capitalized upon. Yes, sir. But yeah, like I said, what about the people who are on fixed incomes that have just enough to pay for their bills? Now they got it. All of a sudden, there's a summer charge. Well, they're going to have to get shut off now, aren't they? That or go get some energy assistance, which is widely available in Missouri, I might add. But that's not the point. Those services are meant for you to become dependent on them. So when they all of a sudden put an arbitrary line that you can't cross for that, then they go, oh, I'm sorry, you can't have any more electricity. Or whatever it may be. Dependence is weakness. And I don't want to be weak. I will not be weak. That's why I'm not on food stamps, even though I could really use food stamps. I really could. I'm not on energy assistance, which I could use. I'm not on any other program. I exist with what I have. And most people can't even do that. They always go outside their means. Fake it till you make it. God, I hate that expression.
Well, they're gonna make everything go up. They're gonna jack the prices up on everything.
Oh, most definitely. You already know that's
yeah.
happening. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
The food shortages are coming. I mean, where I'm at, I've already experienced it on some level. Heck, I went to freaking McDonald's the other day, and they didn't have any soda. Like that, like it's America, like the land of the fat. Like there's no soda at McDonald's. Are you kidding me? But I mean, they're turning on the heat. They're playing the long con. They went and bought up a whole bunch of farmland. Now the USDA is telling people to destroy their crops. They're paying farmers to destroy their crops. I mean, that, and then with Obamacare, you're going to see a lot of people who are going to most likely quit their jobs because they don't want to get the vaccine, and they're not going to have health insurance through their employer. Well, if they don't have that through their employer, they got to buy it from the government. And if they can't afford to buy it from the government's going to charge you because you can't afford it. All while these three medicine manufacturers are getting fat and rich because old President Biden is doing nothing but advertising daily for them. I mean, one of them announced a daily pill. Like, it's just, I don't know. They're turning on the heat. Metaphorically, literally. It's going to get hairy.
Yeah.
I spelt that wrong. Oh, well.
Then sue them.
Yeah. I
Like
had
a boy named
this
Sue?
up. Had this up before.
Yeah, exactly. Make them fire you. They will not win that in court.
Well,
And they're banking. Well, not banking. They're gambling, and it probably is a relatively decent gamble on their part that everybody's gonna just be like, "Nah, we'll fight them. I quit." Well, if these government employees quit, who's gonna take their spot? Probably whoever the more subservient,
less knowledgeable.
submitting type, the order followers.
The betas.
Yeah. Nazi Germany, I guess just Germany had a lot of order followers at one point in time, and it turned into Nazi Germany.
Right.
It's kind of the progression of things.
They had a nickname. Brown shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do we need a nickname for these? How about the roll up your sleevers?
I just called them libtards. I guess that's too narrowing now. Gonna have to come up with another one.
I like the roll up your sleevers.
Jabbers.
pricks.
Yeah, there you go. How apt.
Small poke.
The pricks. I like that.
You know, there's some comments to be made there. I'll refrain.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, if you're not prepared for this, I mean, what the hell you been waiting for? I mean, right now, everybody's worried about, oh, yeah, I'll quit my job and all that stuff. You know, no, make them fire you. Do that. But everybody's worrying about their jobs. Don't you understand if they keep on with what they're doing right now, there aren't going to be any jobs? All these industries that we still have, like my local iron damn, I
Union.
forget the name of it. No, it's the basically they probably are a union, but the people who make I-beams and stuff like that in my area,
Yeah, the iron workers. Union.
that's gonna end up drying up too, because steel's gonna keep getting it more expensive.
Yeah.
Because we have offloaded all of our shit onto other countries, mainly China, but you know what I'm saying.
hmm
I
Now-
bet you that whenever, because regardless of how much information gets out there, there's going to be I think a fairly large amount of people quitting their jobs, and whenever they see that peak, the number of people quitting their jobs, I guarantee you national minimum wage goes up to like $20,
Yeah.
and then nobody's going to be hiring anybody.
Wait, just we were touching upon that earlier. I mean, what Biden was talking about putting into effect, no more than 100 workers or whatever. They're just going to hire 99.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
want to
that's
make
it.
they want to make you broke, hungry, mad. So, am I forgetting anything? Or sure,
Crazy.
crazy.
They want to
Taking
spin up.
orders from a moron.
Yeah, they're gonna spin it up as much as possible to get all of us at each other's throats. When all it takes is us to stand up and turn and look at them and go, no. And they can't do nothing about it. Hey, Bob Jones. Welcome. Yeah. Unfortunately, if we keep letting this happen, they're going to keep doing it. That's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
We all can see the trends that are happening. We all know that there is no upside in what's going to happen. Are you going to let it happen? I mean, to me, go ahead.
I should think that some of the business owners would reject this whole forcing people to get vaccines.
You would
tests.
think.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a form of extortion too, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can't work here unless you get stuck up with the experimental concoction of gene therapy.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's an extortion on the business owners as well.
Sure. I mean, they're going to have to close up because of it.
Well, I don't think they should.
Hell no. They should fight it every step of the way because, like we said before, the federal government has no jurisdiction in this.
Yeah, and I
They
think
cannot tell us what to do.
And I think that, if they're going to have these crazy curriculum and all this vaccine stuff at schools, I think people should create their private schools. The hell with the government.
Right, exactly that. The hell with the government. They have no jurisdiction in what we're doing. Yet they're
No.
trying to push their way into every facet of our lives. They have been
Yeah.
doing it in small steps for many, many years.
Well,
And if we don't put a stop to it, who will?
yeah. I was just reading an article about the people in my state down in Hull. They're going to charge them more for electricity in the winter because they have to use generators sometimes, usually during storms. It's like, really?
Well, yeah. I mean, every excuse to make you pay more. I mean, oh, this is going to happen, so you got to pay more. Oh, this is
Yeah.
going to happen, so you're going to have to pay more. Oh, it's the same thing with our rights. Oh, this happened, so we got to take away a little bit more of your rights. Then this happened, and we're going to have to take a little bit more. Then this is going to happen. Oops, I mean, this is happening. You know, we're going to have to take even more of your rights.
Yeah.
Several small steps. As soon as people start getting irate, they back off a little bit, and then as soon as you calm down, they fucking go charging right ahead.
No, I didn't see Sanity for Sweden, Jim McIntosh.
No, I
Oh.
haven't seen that either.
What's that all about? Were they protesting?
Oh yeah, and that was another thing that reminds me. OSHA. OSHA
Yeah.
has regulations against wearing face masks. You know why? Because they already did the research.
Yeah. Well, that'd be something else. Imagine OSHA going against the administration.
Yeah.
No way. I would love
Okay.
to see that.
I think that'd be hysterical.
That would be amazing.
I would love that.
The entire foundation of this administration is fraudulent. You're damn right.
Seems to be.
The entire foundation of the whole system is fraudulent. Not just
Indeed.
this administration. It goes way past.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about the word de facto. They are de facto. And de facto means in effect, but illegitimate.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn what Joe mandates. I love that, Ms. Red Badger. And not exactly what she said, but
Yeah.
it reminded me of Scarletta.
And that's the whole thing about it. They don't have the jurisdiction to do it. Unless we allow them to do it, they can't. They're going to sue places like Missouri for their reinforcing the Second Amendment. They're going to go after every other state that goes against it. They're going to sue them. This is the pattern of the lawyer.
Yeah.
And the lawyer is corrupt in its base.
Yeah.
Because they don't put forth honesty in any of what they do. There is no
No.
honesty in being a lawyer. And those
No.
lawyers become judges.
Well, how else are they going to steal your money, Vex?
What's
If
that?
if they tell you the truth, how else are they going to steal your money?
Yeah.
Exactly. At gunpoint.
Yeah.
And it's half the battle. Honestly, all of this is literally problem solving.
It's a mess.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they've been jacking with us for so long, you know, putting stuff in the water, reinforcing awful, you know, the food pyramid, you know, awful diets, destroying our health, mindsets, attitudes. And basically, our society just has an awful case of Stockholm syndrome, and nobody knows how to problem solve anymore because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is so dependent.
Yeah.
on what they have created.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Bob Jones. He says it seems like this woke up a lot of normies. I hope it is enough and not too late. This is like watching a slow motion train wreck. Yeah, I agree. And Callie
Definitely.
was talking about Joe said he's going to remove governors. Well, I think that's funny as hell. The way he said it sounded like he was a thug. You know, the way he
Because he
said it.
is.
You know, it was just ridiculous. You know,
I don't know. They ain't coming to my place, and if they do, they'll meet 5 cannons.
oh, that's hysterical.
Quite literally. I'm not kidding.
Have you built a cannon?
I built 5.
Nice.
Man,
They all roll around. They shoot 3-pound balls. They'll go about 600 yards.
That'll work. That's enough to put one through their SUVs.
Oh, that'll go through. Yes, it'll do that a few times.
Yeah.
Shot a hole through a stop sign 200 yards out.
Nice.
Still couldn't find the ball because it had kept going.
Alan was asking how the gun show was.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. There was it was kind of disappointing. I don't know if everybody was just like still getting their booths and tables and stuff still kind of set up. But the only person I kind of struck any conversation with ended up being from Arkansas. So wasn't that useful, but got to talk to a few folks and got to look at some cool things. I spent a little bit of money on something I didn't need.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
But I did get my civil peace flag and fly that puppy on the back of my truck all the way to the show.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
I was a little nervous, to be honest, because I was like, okay, somebody's gonna see this and be like, oh, this like commie dickhead, like he's not flying the American flag. What is this? And I thought, like, thinking my truck was gonna get keyed or something, you know. But it was all good. I was even driving down the road. I had like, I think at least four people like kind of honking and waving.
Oh, cool.
In a positive manner, not like
Nice.
a negative honking and waving. It was all cool, and there's a couple people who actually like recognized it, and I was like,
yes,
awesome. Like it's gives me a little bit of hope.
Hey, Lily Wallace, welcome.
But other than that, I'm thinking it's a one-time admission fee of $10, and it went today, and it's going all day tomorrow, and then until 4 or 5 o'clock Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, so you made it in the beginning. What's
that?
So you made it in the beginning of it. Yeah, they were probably still setting up.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty tables. But...
Yeah, Alan, I'm trying to figure out what she wants me to call her on the chat. Hey, Alan, did you buy a gun?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Ah.
I was thinking about it. There's a few that caught my eye, and I definitely stood there for probably like 30 minutes debating. But I did not. I just bought a charging handle
Hmm.
for my AR. It's engraved on the top. It says "We the People." I was like, ah, that's kind of cool.
Nice. Me, I tend to draw on my guns. um.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, gun shows are going to become a thing of the past, unfortunately.
That's gonna be a sad day. Don't tell me that. I don't. like.
Definitely, but I mean, if things keep going the way they are, I mean, most assuredly they're going to be gone. Because if nothing else, they're going to make it so damn expensive for any type of seller or purchaser to make any money or have decent prices,
Yeah.
because they're going to put all these taxes on everything to basically tax them out of existence. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but here recently they basically made it illegal to buy any ammunition from Russia.
I thought that was always like a thing.
No, I mean,
Well,
they
no.
put restrictions, but they've
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
they've basically said you cannot buy any ammunition from Russia. And I don't know if people realize it, but 7.62 and what was it, 5.45? I think I got that right.
Well, there's a couple of brands that make the NATO 223-556, which are
I'm not talking about
AR-15.
those. Yeah, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the AK and the AK style weapon that
Yes,
come from
7.62.
Yeah, 7.62, and I think it's 5.45. But those are very popular calibers, and we're not allowed to buy from there. Now, I know there's a whole bunch of people who love their AK-47s and other Russian-made firearms. Right now, those calibers are going to go up dramatically. And I'm sure they're going to make it so that, even owning the calibers are bad. Thank you, Bob.
Well, I'll just say, not trying to gloat or anything, but having a machine shop at my disposal, it's, I guess what I'm saying is I can make cannons all day if I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard that, Kelly. She said then Texas just passed bills stating they won't be implementing federal government BS.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're going to get sued by the federal government, which is going to be funny.
Well, honestly, I hope they don't send them a fucking dime.
For real. I mean, all we have to do is convince our governors not to give any more money to the Fed.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm like borderline almost I want to trust Mike Parsons so bad.
Don't.
But I've seen him do incredibly stupid and wrong things.
Well, yeah.
And they're pretty significant in my opinion when he does do those very stupid things. But 90% of the time he's getting it right.
Well, then again, you have to also basically throughout this whole COVID thing, he's been nothing but, going along with the flow up until recently. So I have to question him for that, if nothing else. I don't trust him at all, and I would not put any trust in him. Keep him on his toes. As a matter of fact, that goes for all your governors. Keep them on their toes. Even the good ones, especially the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, if they're appearing to be spotless, that just means they're good at hiding it. Because they are all de facto. That means they're all something's going under the table that not everybody's seeing.
Exactly.
And until self-governance is implemented or restored, reestablished, however you want to word it, in all the states, that's just a matter of fact. But until then, I guess we could always say maybe Missouri is like top 3 best de facto states to live in.
Don't spread that around. We don't want to influx a whole bunch of people showing.
Yeah, we don't want a
Right.
bunch of Californians.
I'm trying to move, so that's going to jack up real estate. Real estate already is jacked up. Hell, just trying to find a house for $600 a month is pushing it.
You could always just build you a cabin.
Well, in order to do that, I would have to have money to build a cabin.
Actually, you are allowed, if you do take out a loan, and it is for a cabin, you're allowed to get a personal loan to build a cabin, as long as it meets a certain sort of blueprint. But you can get a personal loan instead of like a mortgage to build it. And also, if you do it, there's a common law concept here that is applied to this that it's escaping me. But once you've done that, there's no property tax or any other well, people would consider normal taxes and fees and whatever, if for building this said cabin. But
I'm a little confused. I heard you say get a loan to get a personal loan.
no. If you decide to get a loan to build the cabin, you can get a personal loan to build the cabin. If you build a house, you're getting you're going to get a mortgage. You're not getting a personal loan.
Right. Well, that's the thing about it. Most people are putting these regulations and stuff like that on, things like that. That's one of the things I kind of investigated a while back. I could get some property in Missouri, get a loan, or pay, I think it was like $1,000, $1,500 down, and make payments on it. But you couldn't live on it. You couldn't cut down any trees until it's paid off. And basically, you couldn't live on it unless it's paid off, or you built a specific size house or dwelling or whatever. So there's always restrictions on stuff like that whenever you go through the loans and stuff like that. Hey, Panther. And that's the part that gets to me. It's because I don't want to be put in a position where I can't, if I want to, go ahead and set up a tent and live in my fucking tent if I want to on my land. If I want to build a house or a cabin, I should be able to take my time living on the land and build it as I see fit.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not allowed to do that.
Well, that's because we got a bunch of pirates in office, and the only way to get around any of that, like property tax and building code, yada yada yada, even getting a building permit. I mean, come on.
Right.
I want to build a tree house. Go to the city and get a building permit. Kiss my ass.
For real.
There's a freaking oak tree in my backyard. Like, I'm gonna like just because you just said that, I'm gonna go get a BB gun and pop you in the ass on your way down the street. Like, better start running. But like I was starting to say, the way around all of those taxes and stuff, is to inherit the land. And obviously, it's easier said than done. But if you can inherit land, and that land is paid for, they cannot charge you for property tax or that sort of BS.
I can attest to that because I have a partial stake in some land down past the Ozarks, and they haven't come to me for taxes once. Because it's already paid for.
Very nice.
Unfortunately, it's just basically like an acre plot that I have a portion of. It's like a family land thing.
More than I got.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to clear out all the underbrush and all that stuff and start building there. But man, it sucks to build there because the ground there is just full of rocks, and yeah, it's not good for trying to level out shit.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, the only things that throughout history have value or continue to hold value or even increase in value, you got precious metals, land, and there was 3. I can only come up with 2 now. So till I come up with that third one, that's the end of that thought.
Well, they're in chat saying it. Bob said, put a trailer on it. Well, yeah, I would if I had a trailer to put on it. I would have to basically get a loan to do that. But it's a good idea. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't mind at all just setting up tents and stuff like that and living in the tent while I'm building. I have no ill feelings towards just living in a damn tent until I get it fixed or getting the house built or whatever I'm going to be doing. No problem whatsoever. But the problem is the cities and the corporation themselves have a problem with that. They want to be able to tax you for shit and get their permit money and all that stuff. Yeah, Alan's my neighbor got in an HOA. Nasty gram.
Man.
Those
HOAs drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. Nothing on this earth would ever make me want to buy a home and then pay dues to a bunch of people who do nothing but decide how tall the grass should be and what color you can't paint your house.
Right.
Like, if I'm going to pop into the suburbs and drop $100,000, $200,000 on a home,
Yeah.
I'm gonna paint this freaking house any dang color I want. You can take that HOA and shove it.
Yeah. So why can't I put a tent on my land in Missouri? Well, you can. It's just that if I was to get buy some land, then I would have to follow their restrictions and their regulations in order to do it. Because they don't want you just living in a tent on your land. They don't. They want you to pay permits to build stuff on it to make it look, they want you to live in a home so they can charge you for it.
Unless you don't buy the land.
Well, even then, you're subject to the people who do own the land.
No. I'm saying you can lawfully take possession of the land without exchanging currency.
Explain.
Okay, so essentially, what is the purpose of money? Or dollar?
For convenient barter.
Yeah, well, yes, it's the most generic way to essentially compensate somebody for their time or an effort. So, what's to stop you from making a common law contract with somebody and say, "Hey, I'll work for you for 2 years if you give me that 10-acre plot over there." Then it's between you and that person.
That's true.
You cut them out.
Sorry, I'm getting ideas. Yeah, you should be able to, if you pay that much for a house in the suburbs, all that good stuff, you should be able to decorate it exactly the way you want to, because it's yours. And yes, I should be able to get on a piece of land and do with it as I will. Now,
if I'm paying that much, I'm gonna build a freaking rocket ship in my backyard. Just saying, nobody's gonna stop me. Throwing down some cash. Yeah, no. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah.
Go back to your HOA and cry.
Yeah, Gally says you can claim free land, but you're subject to the Bureau of Land Management designated properties. Yeah, it's hoops to jump through, and it should not be like that whatsoever. Those hoops should not exist.
How would you become subject to the Bureau of Land Management? It's not a national park.
Unless they declare it is. Even that's unlawful.
No. I'm going to walk my butt down to my neighbor Jim's 200 acres that he's got and work on his ranch until I can essentially work my way up to 10 acres of land. I mean, it's mine. Put stakes in the ground, draw it up. If you want, you could submit a deed to maybe the deeds in or the land deeds office, but you'd be entering into the de facto that way.
Yeah.
The overall point is they've put in so many things on top of all the stuff that we built all this on. Common law, the Constitution, all of it. They piled so much stuff on it that you have to jump through all these hoops just to find out that you have to jump through a bunch of hoops more.
Yep.
And even then, you're no guarantee you're going to know exactly what's going on because they shadow it. They put it in darkness so that you don't understand what's going on. You have to get a lawyer to interpret it. Go ahead, Hayden.
I was going to comment on that. The way they're doing this, once you kind of look at it under a microscope, it's so evil. I mean, seriously, I mean, they're brainwashing you. They're putting so many obstacles and hoops to jump through and making things so complicated. And not only does that just make you obedient to a system, that has no lawful or legal, no lawful or just standing, and they'll throw you in the freaking brig if you don't, and the more jacked up part is when you get together with people and kind of start talking about some of these concepts, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence. It just still messes with my mind a lot that nobody here's experienced real freedom. And I mean, all of these obstacles that they put in our way has conditioned our minds
Yep.
to be looking for obstacles when in reality, all of this is truly just common sense. And basically, if they would have just left you alone by the time you were like 6 or 7, about how much you really need to know to have a basic understanding of common law.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. They indoctrinate you. As soon as you turn, 5, 6, whatever, you go off to school and you start your slavery training. And then you graduate, and then you graduate to paid slavery. I mean,
Right.
They've come up with a great system. I hate it. I want it gone yesterday.
Yep.
But I mean, people don't even. They've conditioned our minds to. It's almost hard to be able to say what you would do with absolute freedom. I mean, we can sit here and think of all the things we don't want to deal with because they're in our way and they're annoying. But try to think about all of the things and possibilities, the unlimited tapped potential of humanity that's out there if we all just actually had real freedom. I mean, it's to me, it's a mind-blowing philosophical topic,
And it shouldn't be.
no, it shouldn't be. But I'm excited to see it. I'm determined to see that one way or another.
Me too.
If I have
That's
to, if I got to end up on a raft, like Castaway style, living with a volleyball named Wilson to have my freedom, I mean, if that's the last resort, that's what I'll do.
Now, to the same point, that's what I meant about, if worse comes to worse, I'm going to go set up a tent on that little piece of property, and I'm going to live. And nobody will be able to do a damn thing about it because it's mine. And
Yeah.
I'll do with what I will.
I'll send you a bird bath.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
funny.
be fun. But yeah, I mean, you can do so many things as an individual. You can do so many things as a group. But when you're working towards common good, you have way more power. You feel like nothing can touch you because they can't. Get yourself knowledgeable. Learn about every little thing you can. The more knowledge you have, the more power you'll have. Plain and simple. I mean, we've heard that cliche for quite a long time. Knowledge is power. Well,
Yeah.
now it's time to put it into effect. So, I want to go ahead and wind this down. So I'll add in, everybody needs to go to national-assembly.net, find your individual states in the forums, and say hello. And let's all stand up and take care of what needs to be taken care of and put our American soil the way it should be. Of the people, by the people, for the people. And let's not let any of these evil bastards keep on putting us through this bullshit. And with that, I'll go ahead and ask you guys for some closing comments. Who would like to go first?
I don't know. I guess I'll go first.
All right.
I don't have anything to really close with except God bless you all. God keep you all. May we remain free. May we get more freedom back. And may our assembly be successful. Have a very good night and a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Well said. All right, Hayden, would you like to go ahead and throw in closing sentence or two? Who's on mute? Alrighty then.
Well, sorry.
Good
I
talk.
was eating Cheetos. I had Cheeto fingers. I had to wipe my.
Oh,
finger
gotcha.
up. Can't get Cheeto fingers on the new phone, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't really have a closing comment, but everybody listening, I would like to challenge everybody listening to consider what absolute freedom would be like, and then think about what would you do with that absolute freedom. Because one, I like hearing what other people would do with such a beautiful idea and concept. And two, it helps me kind of get rid of some of the brain blocks that our society has installed. So, yeah, I'll end it with that.
Excellent.
Yeah, get some good ones.
Yeah, I would encourage that also. Whenever we come across stuff that is unjust, we must stand up against it. That's just the long and short of it. And I implore all of you to stand up. We need every one of you to do it. Once that's done, then we can have this freedom. I know it may seem abstract at this time, because quite frankly, we've been living through not freedom. So it's time to take it back and claim it as our own. We deserve it. You deserve it. And with that, I'd like to thank Scrimshaw and Hayden for coming up here and joining me on the panel, keeping the conversation lively and upbeat. And I'd like to thank everybody in chat for participating. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by and participating. I really do. I like fielding questions from the chats and everything. So join us next time. I'll be going live Monday night, same time. And hopefully I'll see all you there. Exactly. Freedom. Let's throw that up on there for closing out. And that
All
being
I see is
said,
Mel Gibson.
freedom. Absolutely.
Warfield!
Thank you, Scrimshaw.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me up.
You got it. And with that, I yield. Good night. Sweet dreams, everyone.
Night.